let's just start taking a look at what we know, what we found out.
All right.
Now, first off, I want to look at some of the things that you've looked at. He provided you with some documentation. This is a payment agreement that he sent you. This is Jonathan and Andrew Loris. Now, first, Andrew Loris. I started digging around on Andrew Loris. And do you know, there's not anywhere on the face of the globe that there is an Andrew Loris that spells his name this way. If Andrew Loris exists, he doesn't know how to spell his name.
All right.
So I started looking at this payment agreement. Now, this was created in Miami, Florida. And it says, know all men by those present. What are we in medieval times? Hear ye, hear ye. All gather on town square. Here, know all men by these presents. This agreement made and execute. Execute? They don't know how to spell executed? At Florida. You don't say at Florida, you say in Florida. This is somebody whose second language is English or third language or whatever. And not only does he not know how to spell his name, he doesn't know when to capitalize it.
Okay.
Because it's not capitalized. But agreement is, and this signature here on this other one here, these are obviously, you can lay one of these on top of the other, and we did. This signature is copied.
Okay.
But it's drawn up by attorney James M.
I
So
noticed
he doesn't have a last name?
Well, I commented that there was nothing legal to it because it wasn't signed properly.
These are bogus documents.
I knew they weren't legal.
Well, why would he send you this?
Maybe he thought I was dumber than I sounded on the phone. I don't know.
Why did he send it?
But he sent you bogus documents to show you that he needed $16,500 and $34,800 over here. Mm-hmm. So again, it's just, hey, money, money, money. I need this money. Okay? Now, at one point, he needed $10,000 because he hurt his hand on the job, right?
Right.
So he wasn't just being held captive, he was still working.
But that was prior to this job.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
I blurred this because I didn't want people in the audience throwing up, but this is basically severed across here, right?
It was hanging.
He needed $10,000 to buy a machine to fix his hand.
That true?
In the basement.
Is that true?
The person he was living with was a retired nurse. She knew a retired doctor. The two of them fixed his hand.
But he needed 10 grand for a machine to finish the job.
I was told he needed $10,000 for the medical bill.
Okay. He got over it pretty quick. He does heal fast, right?
I understand he has a scar. But yes, his hand still, he can still use it.
Yeah. Well, we talked to a hand surgeon, and we showed him this picture. He said this would be a 20-hour procedure in a hospital operating room. If you could save the hand, you might have to amputate the whole thing. It would be a 20-hour procedure at a hospital. And that didn't add up, so you'll never have a normal hand again, even if it is repaired. And so we started looking around, and we found this picture on the internet 3 years ago.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a circular saw accident. Somebody put their hand in a circular saw. So
Right.
he didn't hurt his hand in November 2020. Somebody else did back in 2017, 2018. He just found a picture on the internet, sent it to you, and said, ouch, I need 10 grand.
Okay.
He didn't hurt his hand.
Jonathan has lived in Miami for the last 5 years. Prior to Jonathan being held captive at his job site, I did have an address for him. I even sent him 3 birthday cards to that address. All of them were returned to me. This is one of the birthday cards I sent to Jonathan that was returned. I have asked Jonathan repeatedly what is the address of the construction site that's holding him. He will not give me the address because he says it's confidential.
For all we know, this individual could be sitting behind a computer anywhere in the world.
I do know that my boyfriend Jonathan is in Miami, and I would just like to know exactly where he is.
Dr. Phil, I'm here in Miami, Florida to see if we can confirm some information given to Jane by Jonathan. Now, Jane was told that Jonathan lived in a house near here. So I'm going to go to the house, see if we can find anybody that knows him or where we might be able to find him. So we're moments away from the address that Jonathan claims that he lived in. So I'm here at the address when he first met Jane in July of 2020. Let's go up there and see if we can find somebody that's seen him before. Hello, I'm with Dr. Phil in Los Angeles. We were told that a gentleman by the name of Jonathan used to live here. Do you know anybody by the name of Jonathan?
No.
Have you ever seen this man before?
No.
And how long have you lived here?
32 years.
Thank you so much for the information. I really appreciate your time. Hi, my name's Chris. I'm with Dr. Phil in Los Angeles. So we're looking for a gentleman by the name of Jonathan. He claims to have lived right on this block. Have you ever seen this guy before?
I have not.
Thank you so much for your information. Hi there. Hi there. How are you today? I was wondering if you've seen this man before. Can I talk with you for a second? So we've combed the entire neighborhood that Jonathan claims to have lived in. Nobody recognizes him. Nobody knows him. So we're pulling into the neighborhood where Jonathan claims that he worked. We're gonna go up to the building, see if we can find anybody there that knows him. Have you seen this man before?
I've never seen this man.
Okay, his name is Jonathan. Does he look familiar at all?
Not at all.
Does he look familiar to you?
Not really.
And do you work in this neighborhood?
I do, yes.
His name is Jonathan. Does he look familiar to you?
No.
Have you ever seen him before? He claims to work in construction in the area. Well, Dr. Phil, I think it's pretty safe to say that Jonathan did not live or even work here in Miami, Florida. Nobody knew him, and all the people that we showed the pictures to, nobody even recognized him. Now, we did a thorough search. We talked to all of the neighbors and people in the surrounding areas, but no sign of Jonathan or where he might be.
Okay, now, you gave us the address. They've lived there for 32 years. He's never been at that address.
Okay.
So that's a phony address. That's a lie.
Okay.
Now, there was a text between Jane and Jonathan concerning this relationship at the end of last year. And Jane says, "My biggest fear is not hearing from you after I make the last payment." Jonathan says, "Don't say that. Don't have negative thoughts about us. I have your number written down and also in my head, but we will never lose each other. Trust me, babe. You know you are my life, and if we are not together, I will die." Jane says, "If only you understood how bad I want to be with you. You know the saying, if it's too good to be true, it likely isn't. That's my biggest fear." Jonathan said, and boy, this was a nice turn of phrase. He says, "I don't need a million reasons to feel special. All I want is you to reside in this world. You're the sunshine of my life."
My future with Jonathan, I feel excited.
The sad thing is that Jane really believes that there's a future with Jonathan.
Our plan once we're together is we're going to go to North or South Carolina to look at property to build a home.
I don't understand why she does not see how ridiculous this is.
He does want to marry me, and if our relationship doesn't work out, Jonathan has promised to go ahead and pay me back, and I do believe he will give me back my money.
I reached out to linguistics expert Bob Kennedy. And Bob Kennedy is a linguistic instructor at the University of California, Santa Barbara. And he listens to Jonathan's accent, and he says it sounds as if he's impersonating an Australian accent with no Australian background whatsoever, and he suspects that he is African or Middle Eastern, but certainly not Australian.
Okay.
Patty, you say you watched Dr. Phil, and that Jonathan is demonstrating classic scam behavior. And she's on to something here, because here's what past guests told me about their Jonathan.
He cannot leave the construction site until his debts are paid.
He owns his own construction company.
John has been a project engineer. He just finished building a platform rig. They had promised him $1 million bonus when it was finished, but they won't give it to him.
Louise is supervisor for a construction company stuck in Germany.
So real frequently, they're on construction sites and they owe money to get money. And then one common theme among these past guests was how they always sent money to the person they were dating, which is something that Jane admits to doing.
I have sent him over $1 million. He will give me back my money.
I have to put down $150,000 to get the money out.
I will send him $2,000. He could get me a government grant.
I wired $8,950. James said he would pay me back with interest.
I've spent over $750,000.
I've been giving him money to help him get his inheritance.
Past guests also tell me the person they dated constantly experienced technological problems, so they were unable to video chat because they can't show their faces, obviously. That's another thing that Jane can relate to.
Jonathan wasn't able to video chat with me because the telephones that he had purchased were cheap.
She says her phone's messed up and she has bad internet connection.
Anytime he has tried to video chat her, it is a blank screen. It is black.
He explained to me that they only have 2G.
Will not video chat with her. The audio and video does not work.
They don't even do FaceTime. All they do is text.
We could no longer talk on the telephone. These servers were down.
Here's what past guests have told me about the person they dated being widowed with one surviving relative.
Jonathan he is a widower.
His wife died of cancer. He has a daughter named Sophia.
David told me that he had a wife and a daughter that died in a car accident. And he has one surviving daughter.
His wife passed away. His wife was tragically killed in a car accident about 4 years ago, and he has no one.
He told me early on that he was a widower.
And here's what past guests tell me about the person that they dated never showing up as promised.
After 16 months, I still haven't seen Jonathan face to face yet.
I have never met David in person.
I've never met James Connor.
I've never physically met Eric face to face.
I was supposed to meet David, pick him up at the airport, but it never happened.
I never met Jen in person because she always had an excuse.
Every time Terry and I had made plans to meet, something had always just come up.
Jane, I take no pleasure in bringing you this news, and I want to tell you that you're going to grieve this relationship, and that's difficult. And I want to point out to you, as I did earlier when we were talking, that you're surrounded by people that love you and care about you, and this is a time that you guys are really, really important here to support her, because she is going to be really down about this. She's going to feel empty and lonely. She's going to get angry. She's going to be just really bitter and pessimistic. But the fact of the matter is, you've gotten this stopped. It could have been a lot worse. Let these people that love you be around you. And there are good people in this world, as evidenced by the fact that this man took time out of his life to come down here for somebody he doesn't know.
I do appreciate it.
To come down here for somebody he doesn't know, just to be kind. which tells you there are good people in this world. And Ed, thank you so much.
Well, thank you to you guys.
I have sent him over $1 million.
The Search.
Not only does he not know how to spell his name, he doesn't know when to capitalize it.
For Jonathan.
The man in the photos is not being held hostage because he's here today.
New Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.